The background of the film spread is Los Angeles, a city known for its glitz, luxury, and pursuit of fleeting pleasures. With his rough, respectable appearance and silver tongue, the main character, Nicky, is a young guy who personifies the hedonistic lifestyle that law often portrays. Nicky has mastered the art of seduction, breaking into the lives of wealthy ladies and taking advantage of them. Nicky leaves his lavish house at the start of the novel, which is a representation of the extravagant lifestyle he has created via his relationships with wealthy women. Nicky is not new to this world. In the past, a friend of his mother's made a prophecy that he would become a womanizer, and it has come to pass. Living among the beautiful and rich ladies of Los Angeles has always been Nicky's greatest ambition, and by the time we meet him, he has already fulfilled it. One evening, Nicky goes to his favorite French restaurant, where he always goes with various women. But this time, Nicky isn't seeking for a one-night fling. Instead, he's looking for something more meaningful, a new target who can provide him the opulent lifestyle he wants. His gaze settles on Samantha, a beautiful and rich lady who seems to have all the qualities Nicky is seeking. Even though Samantha thinks Nicky is handsome, she first rejects him and won't allow him to accompany her home, but Nicky doesn't give up. After using his charm and persuasion to get past her guard, he ends his achievement with a tender kiss that secures an invitation to her home. When Nicky first arrives to Samantha's opulent house, he is clearly amazed, but he swiftly covers up his shock to maintain his calm, collected demeanor. He threatens to break up with Samantha until she takes off her boots, a light-hearted challenge that Samantha, with her strong sex drive, readily agrees to. As the night comes to a conclusion, passion sets the tone for Nicky's well-thought-out seduction strategy. In order to ensure that his relationships don't end after only one night, he knows how important it is to play the long game. The next morning, Samantha leaves her credit card for Nicky to get breakfast and walks off to work. Nicky seizes the chance, planning his next move while indulging in a sumptuous breakfast. He thinks that relationships are like a game with points. He gets 1 point for flowers, 2 for meals, and 3 for orgasms. His daily objective is to accumulate 26 points in order to win Samantha's total trust. In an effort to win her over, Nicky strives towards this objective. Samantha offers to take Nicky with her when she has to fly to New York for business, but he says no, wanting to remain behind and take use of the opulent home while she's gone. Nicky makes the most of the circumstances by hosting parties and acting as if the home belongs to him during one of them. Nicky engages in conversation with his buddies Harry and Helen, but Nicky becomes worried when Emily, another visitor, shows there. He begs Harry to take Helen away because he thinks she could reveal the truth about his predicament. As usual with Nicky's encounters with women, the home tour culminates in the bedroom for Nicky and her other visitor, a very inebriated female. Nicky's carefree life starts to fall apart one evening when Samantha arrives home earlier than anticipated. She exposes the truth of their alleged connection when she discovers Nicky in a precarious predicament. Samantha appears to accept this transactional relationship, seeing Nicky as no more than an average guy who gives her sex in return for an opulent lifestyle, even though she is aware of the parties he holds while she is away and understands deep down that there is no true love between them. When Nicky meets Heather, a strong and self-reliant waitress at a nearby cafe, the plot takes a new turn. Heather is not readily moved by his charisma, in contrast to the other women in Nicky's life. Nicky makes every effort to win Heather over, but she is a difficult nut to crack and rejects him, which frustrates Nicky. She even follows him around to get the money he neglected to pay at the cafe, unexpectedly showing up at his opulent home. After this encounter, Nicky is obsessed with beating Heather at whatever costs, so he conjures up a complex scheme in an attempt to do so. In an attempt to pass for a rich businessman to Heather, he invites Harry to pose as his assistant. After everything goes according to plan, Heather offers Nicky her phone number. But when Nicky calls, Heather doesn't show up, indicating that she is more difficult to get over than the others. Nicky, who is used to obtaining what he wants with no effort, is gnawing at this uncertainty. Nicky is increasingly attracted to Heather as his relationship with Samantha deteriorates because he sees her as a wealthy hunter who is similar to himself and a kindred spirit. Samantha finally becomes tired of Nicky's antics, however. She confronts him about his actions while knowing that he has been unfaithful. and they have a short reunion. However, Nicky leaves this time, saying that he is past his connection with Samantha. When Harry finds out that Nicky has slept with his sister, a furious quarrel breaks out, and Harry decides to cut all contact with Nicky. Nicky looks to Harry for assistance. Now that she is really alone, Nicky attempts to find Emily and solace, but both of them reject him and decline to be his object of desire. Nicky's life falls apart around him. He has little choice but to sell his pricey clothing and even make an effort to get back in touch with his mother, who has grown distant from him. In an attempt to reclaim some semblance of his previous life, a desperate Nicky resorts to his old ways and targets a new lady. However, just as he is about to succeed, Heather emerges, upsetting his plans. Nicky and Heather decide to work together to pursue a rich billionaire after realizing they are in the same game, but their cooperation is tense. Nicky is unable to resist pushing the boundaries, and as they carry out their fraud, the distinctions between their personal and professional sentiments become more hazy. Heather is adamant about establishing limits, refusing to share her bed with Nicky, and reminding him that they are now co-workers. Even though Nicky and Heather seem to be falling in love, their relationship is based on deception, and it won't be long until it all falls apart. Nicky becomes suspicious when Heather promptly conceals a surprise item from him. Music. Nicky is left bewildered and distraught when Heather vanishes out of nowhere. Nicky follows Heather to a posh New York residence, determined to locate her. Any fantasies he had about their relationship are dashed when he learns that Heather has wed a rich guy. I'm grateful. Hello, hey. Now utterly devastated, Nee goes back to Los Angeles and takes a job as a courier. He sees another guy enjoying the life he once had as he delivers a delivery to Samantha's home in a heartbreaking closing scene. At the conclusion of the movie, Nicky looks back on his decisions and admits that pursuing a flimsy lifestyle has left him living a lonely and unfulfilling life. The airport's distinct arrival and departure terminals start to symbolize the gap between those who have lost their ambitions and those who are pursuing them, and they also become a metaphor for his life. The end of